Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning to all and all. I hope all of you are safe. Good morning. Thank you. So we will continue from yesterday's class, and I have uploaded certain reference materials on the LMS, as many of you have. And I did check the LMS for the status on the assignment submission of yesterday, that 1 minute video. So I found that I'm getting a report which says that 85 people have submitted, I think, out of 123. So I request the others, you have anyway not been able to submit on time, but I would still request you to kindly send me the videos nevertheless, although it will be a little late. So without further delay, I would like to proceed on the session. And before I start, quickly for about half a minute, if any of you have any doubts, you can kindly use the chat box or unmute yourself and let me know if there's any doubt from yesterday before we start for today. Now, while that is happening, let me tell you the plan for today's session. We will be proceeding with the first unit about the background of research, and we will discuss certain decision scenarios, which I've already three decision scenarios regarding business research. And after that, we will look at the assignment, which I have also given out, which you can do today onwards till Saturday, all right, which is to access different materials. And then afterwards, we can have a quick question and answer session, and then we wrap up for the day. All right. So that is how the plan of the session is. So while I think the chat box is still empty, so I assuming that there is no doubt, and therefore we will proceed with the class. So what we have discussed yesterday was that this is a business research methods class, and we are going to deal with the contents of your syllabus primarily from the textbook of Schindler, Cooper and Schindler. And we are in the first chapter. And as you can see that the learning objectives in line with the syllabus happens to be that to understand what business research is and how it differs from business decision support systems and business intelligence systems. We also have the objective to understand trends affecting business research and the emerging hierarchy of business decision makers. The distinction between good business research and research that falls short of professional quality, and the nature of the research process. And what we were discussing yesterday is that it is believed generally that executives who are forward-thinking, proactive, who are visionaries, who look into the future, recognize that analytics may be the only true source of sustainable advantage, since it empowers employees at all levels of an organization with information to help them make smarter decisions. And this is what of management do believe. That is why there's a close coordination between the academic sector of research as well as the applications oriented or the corporate sector. So why do we study business research? Business research provides information to guide business decisions, especially in an age where there is so much of dynamic business development happening, trends changing, technology getting updated quite fast. There's a lot of uncertainty in the environment. And you are a generation of managerial professionals who are going to get into the professional domain of management, wherein you are seeing how uncertainty plays out. So business research intends to give information which is meaningful, which is complete, accurate, relevant, and timely, in order to reduce as much of uncertainty as possible for business decision making to happen, which can aid in the successful conduct and achievement of organizational objectives. So research should help business respond to change. Enterprises have long recognized the need to better sense and respond to business change. What's different today is that ubiquitous access to information and real-time communications have fostered an always-on business culture where decision-making has become a just-in-time process. This is a very, very relevant slide. So while I would request some of you to, share your thought processes on this slide, I will ask questions quickly. What do you see on your screen now? And if you could read that line sentence which is there and tell me, anyone can unmute or put it in the chat box. What do we mean by that first sentence? So what is that first sentence? Enterprises have long recognized the need to better sense and respond to business change. Now, why sense and respond? Why not react? And why have business understood that? So if you see the new generation businesses, or from the time, say, in the last 100 years, so many companies have come and so many companies have gone, and many companies have also sustained. And new age companies also have come up. You have the likes of your Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and all these companies coming in. Yet you also have companies like Unilever, Procter and Gamble, Hindustan Unilever, so many companies, startup group of companies, Birla companies, they are all sustaining. So what is it that is helping companies realize this need to use information? In what way? So that is all about the first sentence, which I want some of you to share on your chat boxes. What do you understand by that? Why do you think enterprises have long recognized this need to better sense and respond to business change? Why? The second sentence, what's different today is that ubiquitous access to information and real-time communications have fostered an always-on business culture where decision-making has become a just-in-time process. Is it the urgency? Is it the lack of realization of the strategic importance to understand how you should get the information required for business decision-making? Because research needs time, gathering data, business intelligence needs time. But what is this always on business culture? So I would also request some of the students the chat box. Yeah, so I think I have some of these answers coming in. The first chat is from Anusha, always active. I think you're going to get full scores for your class participation, Anusha. Thank you for your answer. Yes, to keep up with the current trend. So Anusha is answering to the first question, which I had asked you is, what do you understand by the first sentence on the screen? Enterprises have long realized a need to better sense and respond to business change. So Anusha is saying, this is because to keep up with the current trend. Indeed so, yes. So why is it sense and respond? To add on to what Anusha has said, why is it sense and respond? And why is it not reacting? So there's a proactive nature. How did Sony come up with their different kind of business models? So although this is a business research class, you are welcome, most welcome to share examples and incidences from the corporate sector across the business functions. So you could highlight things about finance, about marketing, about production, about human resource management, and you could as well talk about business processes. Yes, so Sri Lakshmi Hegde has said, and all of you can see the chat box as well, she says that with the changing business environment, business has to adopt itself to change to survive in the market and to tackle competition. Excellent. Excellent, Sri Lakshmi. Indeed, in your answer, the key words happen to be the adoption. Yes, businesses have to adopt to change and to survive in the market, to tackle competition. So competition, handling competition, the competitive advantage is another keyword. Excellent. Pranita says, to forecast and attend future needs. Absolutely. So I think most of you stood, and I'm assuming that the rest of you have also understood it in the same way. Yes, Sudarshan says to know the further need so they can sustain acting to the analysis is dependent on the decision maker. Indeed so, yes. So what's different today is the unique way of access to information, because data is all around us. Everything that we're doing online, offline has data trails. And what you do with this is something that has to do with the collection of information, the capture of information. So there are various kinds of conversational data which is available observational data which is available, transactional data which is available, interactional data which is available. Now, what is happening is how do you capture that? How do you deal with this real-time communication so that what is happening right now is that you really have to stay in tune with what is happening in the short term as well as also take care of your strategic needs in the long term. Yes. So I think we move on to the next slide. So always on business culture. What is this always on business culture? That's what is prevailing across all the businesses today. It has been a phenomenon also in the past, wherein what is happening currently is of utmost importance. Of course, your long-term plannings are important, mid-term plannings are also important. Short-term plannings or short-term developments tend to take more priority for a business decision maker because there are stakeholders in the company who focus on results in the foreseeable future. So the always on business culture sometimes might prove to be of a disadvantage because it tends to take away the business decision makers' purview of understanding what is in store in the horizon in the near term, maybe in the mid-term or in the long term. But if you don't really take care of that, as all of you have understood very well, you would not be able to understand how to forecast and attend to the future needs. And that's why I think Google is a very, very great example of one such company who always thinks of futuristic developments. They have projects which are thought to be moonlight projects in nature, which is in terms of forecasting things into the future. So if you see Google as a company or Alphabet Incorporation, how many of you have heard the name of Alphabet? Please respond in the chat box. Okay. Tesla. So these are some of the companies who have tend to show us that there indeed is a time and place for investing in understanding the future, right? Can you also write down in the chat box, which will also show your participation, of companies which you think are doing great in the current era, as well as are also planning for projects into the future, which is they are indeed gathering trends, information, which will help them develop businesses and business models and products and services, which will help the society into the future, and which also indeed also helps them to survive into the future. Yes, indeed, I am seeing so many answers coming in. Thank you so much. So there is Medha. I think some of the names, if I'm missing out, I need to you know, I need to apologize, but yes, I do see answers coming in from Nisarga, Pranita, Siddharth, Apurva, Harsha, yes. From students, Medha says Tata Groups, SpaceX, yes, Ashil, very good, thank you. Prajwal, Amazon, SpaceX, Satya, okay, Walmart. Prasad says Walmart, yes, indeed, through the case studies of Walmart, and we do discuss case studies of Walmart and all these in different classes of marketing or business. Any such, please type in the names of other such companies that you know about. So what is business research there for? So this is the next part of the screen which I have put across to you is like a definition come an explanation. All right, it's a theory. Now what's a theory? Now while you're studying business research, it becomes important to understand that theory drives many of the business decisions, the understanding of business processes, the understanding of how to create models. So theory is nothing but a complex mix of concepts, definitions, propositions, which will systematically explain phenomenon of a certain domain. So what is business research here? It's a process of determining, acquiring, analyzing, synthesizing, and disseminating relevant business data, information, and insights to decision makers in ways that mobilize the organization to take appropriate business actions that in turn maximize business performance. Now, if you're able to see this screen, there are keywords in this entire slide. So business research is a process. The first thing is it's a process. It's like an algorithm. It's like something that has a set of steps. So it's a process, and more so research is a very systematic and a very scientific process of determining certain information requirements. So what does the first line of the screen say? It is a process of determining, acquiring, Second line, analyzing, synthesizing, and disseminating. Go to the third line, relevant business data, information, and insights to decision makers in ways that mobilize the organization to take appropriate business actions. That in turn maximize business performance. So what do we mean? So what are the keywords here? The keywords here happen to be that business research is a process. That's number one, process. Process for what? For determining what is it that you need to do research on? That is the determination factor. On what factor? On what things? What is the problem? Then you have to think about the third keyword here is acquiring. What do you acquire? What is the kind of information that you require? How would you get that information? What kind of data would you like to collect? What is it that you would like to observe or ask or find out? Acquiring is the keyword. The next keyword, analyzing. What you have with you would be data. But as they're saying that garbage in, garbage out. So what you really put in and what you analyze will determine the output. Now, how do you analyze data? What kind of analytical techniques are required? So there are different ways of analyzing qualitative data and quantitative data. There's a different way to understand what type of data to be collected in the first place. So analyzing becomes important part of business research. All right. Synthesizing. How do you assimilate everything? Now that you have disparate aspects of collecting data, things that have come to you, or as a decision maker, you have at your disposal different data points, different collection points. How do you really ensure that what you have with you is synthesized for meaningful use? Next keyword in the second line is disseminating. How do you give out this data? How do you make sure that this data goes out, is publicized, is used, so people should know about it? So disseminating relevant business data information. Now the third line keyword is the relevant business data. So all your competitive intelligence that you've gathered, the business intelligence that you've gathered, the data that you have collected, information that you've gleaned out, the insights that you have gathered, how do you make sure that what you're now going to give out is relevant business data? Information is the next keyword, and insights. Now insight is another keyword. Who's going to use this? Decision makers. Who are the decision makers in a company, in an organization? People who have the responsibility, have the power and the authority to ensure that certain decisions are made in order to achieve certain organizational goals. Therefore, what we need to understand is that business decision makers do need information. What kind of information? Complete information, accurate, relevant information, timely information, so that they can mobilize the organization. That's the next keyword, mobilizing the organization to take appropriate business actions that in turn maximize business performance. So the keyword after decision maker is mobilizing. Okay, and this is a phrase, the organization for what? To take appropriate business actions. Another phrase which is very important, made up of three keywords. For what purpose? To maximize business performance. So maximizing business performance will be the next phrase that is important. And here, if you note that in line with the contemporary development or the orientation that businesses have, it is not about business profits only. Businesses are not looking at only maximizing profits, which I'm sure most of you understand, right? So have you heard? Another question to all of you, please put in your answers in the chat box kindly. Can you tell me what are the other metrics that businesses are using in the contemporary era to track business performance?
Customer satisfaction.
Very good. Thank you so much. You can also type in the chat box. Who was that? I missed out the name.
Anita, ma'am.
Anita. Right. Customer satisfaction indeed. Yes. What else? Please type in the chat box so that I can see the answers. Work-life balance. Okay. Work-life balance is a process. Okay. Yes. Social responsibility. Indeed, Pooja. Thank you so much. Bhumika says, yes. Sustain over a long run. CSR. Yes. Strong teamwork. Indeed. right? So people, processes, right? Okay. Social responsibility, feedback. Okay. Raksha, am I audible now? I think I was not audible to Raksha. If you could just give your feedback.
That's fine.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right, so yes, so there are metrics that are used for understanding the business performance, and most of it happen to encompass environmental contribution, social contribution, as well as the financial contribution. That's the triple bottom line concept, which was enunciated by ITC, our very own Indian homegrown company, ITC, which talked about the triple bottom line, which talks about a very, very holistic performance understanding of different companies. So it is much more than profit maximization. And the other term, which also happens to be relevant in this regard in business research as well as in other domains of management, is the fact that we no more only talk about shareholders, but stakeholders. And of course, there are many opinions to that as well. So in order to summarize, what is business research? So what is business research? Therefore, it is a process to do what? So that's a question that will come to your mind, and any business researcher within the context of the corporate sector, or who's doing a business research in an interdisciplinary manner, needs to understand that it is a process of determining, acquiring, analyzing, synthesizing, and disseminating relevant business data, information, and insights to decision makers in ways that mobilize the organization to take appropriate business actions that in turn maximize business performance. And we will look at each of these keywords in the coming classes to understand the contribution of business research as a function.
And what is disseminating?
Disseminating, that is, you are spreading the information, you are trying to publicize it, you are making sure that it is known by others. So what is known within a company can remain within the company, but in different parts of the company, it can be spread across. So there can be user level spread of the data. But if you talk about, and in corporate sector research, what happens is there could be many information which cannot be publicized to the world around for various reasons, confidentiality, competitive purposes. But there are research also which is happening. You would have heard about journal publications. People go to conferences, present papers. That is also one aspect of disseminating the research data information that is there. So it's all about spreading the information around. Now, why do you need to do that within a company or across in the public domain? So that people understand what are the frontiers of the domain that has been studied, and what has been found, and what is the current trend in that area. So basically, it's a good question that you asked. Who's this person who's asked the question? Who's the student?
Ganesh, ma'am.
Ganesh, thank you so much, Ganesh. Indeed. So what happens is, normally we talk about research, whether it is in business or in other areas, happens to be the pursuit of a non-trivial question. Okay. So what is research? It is searching for some information, searching and researching, going on searching. So in the research domain, we talk about research as the pursuit of a non-trivial question. What is trivial? Something which is not important, something which is not really very, very relevant. But non-trivial means something which is important. All right. So research happens to be the pursuit of a non-trivial question, which helps you to get certain data and information, which enhances the boundary of knowledge. So every domain will have certain knowledge context. There will be theories, concepts, definitions, propositions, business models, constructs, application-oriented results, things which are there. People know about it. Enhancing this body of knowledge is what is the purpose of research. And in business research, what happens is the basic research and the applied research also comes in, which is concepts will be used, theories will be used, constructs will be used, known knowledge will be used, and then you need to see how you can apply it in different contexts. For example, you know that marketing, say customer satisfaction, works in a certain way. Loyalty works in a certain way, which is people buying and rebuying the same brand. despite different kinds of stimulus available in the environment. So if somebody is having a Samsung phone or a Nokia phone and the person rebuys the same brand, the next time the person thinks of an upgrade or a purchase, we tend to talk about this phenomenon as a business, as a customer loyalty. Now, this loyalty is a concept developed out of some pure research. It will have different applications in a Western market versus an Indian market. So what is this going to be used in business research? That the concept of loyalty or the concept of customer satisfaction or anything that is pertaining to the area of business has different applications in different contexts. All right. So this dissemination of this information becomes important so that people understand, all right, so we do know about loyalty or customer satisfaction as a concept, and we know how it works in the Western market, and we need to find out perhaps how it works in the emerging markets, like for example, India or the Asia Pacific region. All right. So when you disseminate, when you spread out this information, when you release the information of research that is happening across different areas, interdisciplinary nature, then people come to understand how much the body of knowledge has actually expanded. So dissemination is very, very important. And that is why it is important to report research findings without compromising confidentiality of the sponsors or without breaching the confidentiality requirements of a company. So if business research is done within a company and it must not go out of the company, that's fair enough. For example, in my research experience, I had done several sponsored research, and one such happened to be with Health and Glow, the brand, right? So the research which I did for them as part of one of my academic requirements, it was sponsored by that company. Whatever research I did for them, I could publish only a bit of that research in the public domain in terms of an article. To submit to my university for my research degree, I could get their permission. I had to get their permission in order to reveal whatever I have done and submit it as part of my research report. So when I submit it as part of my research report in the university or go forward to publish it, that is dissemination. When Health and Glow used my research for their internal business decision-making, like shelf slotting, how should they ensure that they set the shampoo bottles and the conditioner bottles and the various other products, how should they do the retail slotting, that was disseminating information within the company. So we will proceed. The next aspect is about understanding. Are you able to see the screen?
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes. Who is this? Your name, please, because I don't know.
Ma'am, Pooja, ma'am.
Yes, please. Tell me.
Pooja Hegde. Ma'am, apart from profit maximization, what are the other indicators to in business performance? We gave that answer, ma'am.
Triple bottom line.
But ma'am, social responsibility, sustain over long run, these are all depends upon the profit maximization only, ma'am.
Yes, definitely. They depend more on definitely depend on profit maximization, Pooja, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja, yeah, definitely depend on that. But the aim of the company is not only to look at the financial line.
Okay, ma'am.
So this concept has come in. In fact, there's also a concept of balanced scorecard. Okay, which you will, if you have not studied now, you will come across that later. So it talks about that there are various things which are important than financial performance. Of course, financial performance is important. Without financial performance, how will you do all of this? If you don't have money in your company, you're not having the turnovers happening, then where will it all come from? That's very valid. But the purpose is that it is not just financial performance. So this is like the new age developments, Pooja, of how companies are seeing their performance and how the global scenario is playing out. So it is not only about that. That's why you have, Azim Premji, the Premji Foundation, you have the Bill Gates Foundation. There's so many philanthropic organizations which are part of the the endeavors that these promoters or these owners have been pursuing besides doing the business. So they do invest in all of these because that's part of ensuring that while you grow as an organization, you ensure that your society around you also grows. And because of the climate change, environmental aspects, also the aspect about environmental contribution is also important. That's why triple bottom line. Nobody is saying you cannot do charity if you don't have the business, returns. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
That
Thank
is
you.
the triple bottom line concept to begin with. All right. Now, are you able to see the screen? I'll ask Pooja, only the last speaker.
Yes, ma'am.
Research should reduce risk is the slide. I hope you're able to see that. So research should reduce risk. The primary purpose of research is to reduce the level of risk of a business decision, which means that in the context where uncertainty is a fact of life, of the corporate life, one has to understand that the purpose of research should be to give business information, that is, give decision makers at the business unit different kind of information requirement, which will help them to take business decisions with as much of certainty as possible. That is, you decrease uncertainty and increase certainty. And in order to ensure that the risk that is prevalent in a business can be reduced. All right, so the primary purpose of research is to reduce the level of risk of a business decision. Now, can you tell me what kind of risk do you think is there in a business? Number one, that's a question which I will put across to you. Please send in your answers. Yes, backup plans like insurance, data protection. Yes. The second thing which I would like to also ask. So there are two questions that I'm asking you all now. Number one, what are the types of risks that businesses face? First question. Second question, do you think you can eliminate risk? Can you make it zero? All right, so first question first. Yes, risk can be from competition. Yes, technological risk. Excellent, Ashil. Yes, Anusha again, thank you so much. Raksha says competition in the market. Indeed so. Competitors and the innovative products. Yes. Sudarshan says financial risk. We cannot eliminate risk. Yes, indeed. Sudarshan, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's what is the perception that, yes, indeed, you can look at alleviation of risk. You can look at reducing the level of risk that can be there for a business, but perhaps making it zero may not be a possibility. Now, yes, another question. So that's my third question to all of you. Okay, so I've been talking about the fact that business research should help people to get information, to reduce uncertainty, so that they are able to take business decisions in the most optimum manner, despite the uncertainty prevailing, and take decisions which will maximize the organization's performance. Now, my question to you is this. What do you think is the difference between uncertainty and risk? They're just not two words. They are just not two words, uncertainty and risk. So can students please tell me, you can also speculate, you can also guess, difference.
For example.
Yes, yes. Who's this, please?
Ganesh, ma'am, for example, this COVID, ma'am, pandemic, this is uncertain, ma'am.
Okay, there's an uncertainty. Okay, is it an uncertainty or is it a risk?
It's uncertain, ma'am.
Uncertainty. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay.
This can be managed.
Risk can be managed.
Whereas uncertainty is prolonged, keeps going. So that is uncertainty.
Siddharth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you are saying that uncertainty can be prolonged.
Yes,
did I understand you correctly?
Yes, ma'am. It's uncontrollable. Basically, it's uncontrollable.
Okay, and risk?
Risk is basically you can be managed. With
risk can be managed. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Good attempts. Good attempts. What is uncertainty and risk? Are they the same? So two students have identified, no, it is not the same. Something can be managed, something cannot be managed. So someone said it is manageable, someone says it is not manageable. Rakshita says risks, no effect in current state. Rakhi says risks a potential loss. Excellent, Rakshita. No, this is not Rakshita. I think Rakhi. Rakhi, are you from the financial background by any chance?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, see? So applause for you. Applause indeed. Yes, risk is indeed an has a potential loss. Can you elaborate, Raki? Raki has the right answer.
Yes, ma'am. Basically, I would say risk is the potential losses which we will be having, and uncertainty is absence of certain outcomes. In some situations, it may happen.
Absolutely. So, Rakshita, you will have to hear what Raki has said. Thank you so much, Raki. We'll come back again. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So Anusha says unsure of things. Indeed. So uncertainty are events which have a possibility of happening or not happening, and they are certain things related to the events outcome. But in case they happen, there's not perhaps not much of effect. There will be an effect. But risk is primarily something that we talk about in terms of the potential loss, economic loss that can happen. So often in insurance, we used to talk about this, that there are certain things which are uncertain and there are certain things which are typically risky. So for example, it may rain today or not rain today. All right. So what if it rains? And so what if it doesn't rain? But if rains or thunderstorms lead to destruction of property, commercial property, residential property, cause harm to human life and all of these, say floods and all that, these are risky events. They lead to potential economic loss. So risk is something that we normally would, just to put it in very brief, we're not getting into the depth of it, is something that typically has some implications of economic losses. Yes, so Soukya, am I pronouncing the name right? Risks are predictable and uncertainty is unpredictable. Okay. So uncertainty again has certain probability. So again, probability, you'll have to go back to your probabilistic science to understand what is probability. So they are also unpredictable. Risk is also unpredictable. Is also unpredictable, but you can have ways and means in order to find out how they can be predicted and can be taken care of. That's why I agree with so many of the students, and we do agree as a corporate sector or as a knowledge environment, that risks can be alleviated, if not eliminated. Risk can be predicted, and so there are different kinds of risks that we need to look at. So answers are very good. I'm very happy with the participation. So let's see what are the risks that organizations face. So what are the risks that organizations face? These are some of the risks that the organizations can face, which is financial risk, right? Economic risk. There can be risks coming from the social arena pertaining to social risk, the reputation of companies. And while the points are being read out, again, I would request students to start actively thinking, really, just because I'm putting up the slides, are these risks really applicable to the organization? So think about it. I'm going to ask some of you randomly from the list of the students that I have to give me an example. So social risks is one such risk that organizations face. Can you think of companies who have faced social risks? Next is physical risk, represented by living things. Yeah.
The Kingfisher.
Yes, Kingfisher. All right. Really, is he now really bothered about it? I don't know. But yes, product recalls, companies you can think about whose reputations are of very big importance. The next, so the third point in the slide is physical risk, right? Current situation, hint. I'm trying to give out a hint. Perhaps you can think about physical risks that organizations are facing. Yeah, so risk is possibility of future outcome, uncertainty is not. BPO company. All right. So the third risk that organizations face is physical risk. The fourth bullet point is environmental risk. That is also something that organizations face. So students, please think about this. While we say these are some of the risks that organizations face, do you think that that is relevant? That's first question. Second question is, how so? Means, how are these risks even relevant to certain companies? The fifth risk that is there on the screen is technological risk. The risk of falling behind or having the opportunity to leap ahead, two contrasting things. Falling behind because of lack of technology or opportunity to leap ahead of their competition. So what are the risks that organizations face? Financial risk or economic risk, social risk, physical risk, environmental risk, and technological risk. So any enlightenment, that some of you can provide? Financial risk? Please write in the chat box whether you're able to make profit or not. Yes, that's something which I think just a while back, one of your classmates was asking. Who was that who was asking? All right, let me ask Krutika. Krutika Reddy, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Unmute yourself. Yeah. Financial risk. Tell me, what is a financial risk that organizations face?
Something like bankrupt or their
Yes, bankruptcy. All right. Any current situation example?
I know of physical risk, ma'am. Sorry.
Physical risk. Okay.
Yeah. The lead that was there in Maggie, the Nestle product.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. That's what I was wanting. That you should be able to tell. Yes, physical risk.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
so I could relate it with the physical.
And can you relate this with something else, Kritika? While that happened, the crisis happened with Maggie, or you can, I think, similarly recall something with Cadbury, for example. What risk also did it pose to the companies? Social risk, maybe?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, you remember the pesticide issue? I think all the students would remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Then they wrote in, celebrities like Amir Khan and Amitabh
They
Bachchan.
had a hard time to get back to
Yeah,
the position.
yeah, that's what. So that's your social risk, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Risk that they provide, some worm issue because of the chocolates not being preserved properly, as they said, and that related to the outcome of something happening, worms and all that. So that created both the physical risk if people were to go on consuming like that, and it also posed a very big social risk for companies as well.
Yes.
Right, very good, thank you. And nano also. So there are a number of examples, I think, replete in the industry today. And the current scenario, I think the vaccines, if you can think about it, so many people, although we were the pioneers in creating vaccines, but our own population were a little bit apprehensive of adopting the vaccine, the pandemic. I'm talking about the vaccine to prevent COVID. And so many people in the initial days did not want to take the vaccine because of certain perceived rumors, right? And but now what is happening? That risk is getting alleviated and people are wanting to take it. And therefore, what is happening is the reputation of the vaccine production companies the risks are going down. The reputation of such companies are coming up. So if you look at the contemporary development, you will see so many companies which are actually gaining a lot of reputation mileage, Bharat Biotech and all that. All right. Any other? Priyanka Sridhar.
Yes, ma'am.
You about
Ma'am,
technological.
I think social.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
Ma'am, social risks. Recently, we have seen the Zomato crisis, ma'am. That guy.
Absolutely. Please tell. Yes. Yes. Very good.
So that was a big issue in all over India. So I think.
Yes, that is definitely one such thing, though it was going to affect them. Thank you so much. Indeed, that is another aspect. So social risks like that, such examples you will all be able to recall. Ola, Uber had their own share of crisis that they were facing in the social area, the trust issue, right? All of these things were there. Okay, the last risk, I think most of you have understood this. So the last risk, I think most of you remember the Nokia, the Samsung, the Nokia rising story and the fall story and the rise of Samsung and the rise of different companies, the rise of online business because of technological advancement and platform developments and all that. Yes, Raki says environmental risk, all of that. Go green. Okay, Patanjali, fine, fair enough. So all of you have an understanding about that. Excellent. So these are the risks that organizations face. So why are we looking at the different type of risks that organizations face? Because we said business research must help organizations. In what way they should help the organization? Reduce uncertainty.
Reduce risk.
Yes, Nisaga, thank you. Yes, reduce uncertainty, and take business decisions that can optimize their business performance. Okay, one of the last few slides. So what's changing in the business that influences research? What is changing in business that influences research is the next slide. So what are the factors?
Questions, I think.
Sorry, that's a question I was asking. What is changing in business that influences research? So there are several factors which you see on the screen. Several factors which are happening. What did you say the pandemic is? In which bubble does it come into? The pandemic.
Environmental.
Environmental. Okay. Environmental risk coming from which place? From which place?
Ma'am, dumping of the masks.
Really, if you go back to Wuhan, some labs
China.
happening, yeah, something happening, some developments were happening, and then people saying that, you know, this kind of research was happening on some viral, virus studies and all that, and then something got out of somewhere. In fact, there are people who say that there are a lot of papers which were released, I think 4 or 5 years before the pandemic actually hit the current situation. So that was something to do with research in the biological space, something that you were trying.
Many movies on Netflix also, like before the pandemic.
Yes, is there. Okay. So what is basically changing? Thank you so much. What is changing in business that influences research happens to be information. There's so much of information, but then we don't know what information really we should take, and which becomes the critical point at which you decide that this information is really required for me. So what happens is these days people are going to different places and taking information as and when required. So we talk about a concept called information snacking. Okay, which is people can go and they have very limited, I think my voice might be breaking. They would go to different sources of information, just get the information that they require and then proceed. The next thing would be technological connectivity, right? Shifting global economics. There's so much of things happening because of the global connectivity that we have. Shifting places where the cost, due to cost reasons, there are countries and locations that become favorable. And for example, emerging markets like ours or the Asia Pacific region. So that becomes another factor. So shifting global economics gives rise to the need to understand more about business environment. That is why it influences business research. Critical scrutiny of businesses. These days, the environment, the stakeholders are analyzing businesses. So they want to understand how a business is happening. Even public, that is, in the external environment of a business, also needs to understand how a business is affecting their environment. So the critical scrutiny of business, business ethics, business governance, all these are also issues about which businesses are realizing that they need to know more about what is happening. Government intervention, of course, not only related to laws and licenses and all that. There are factors, government compliance norms, for which you need to understand the information that is required by businesses. You need to understand that all this is relating to the fact that analytics is very important. So the knowledge aspect of research happens to give rise to the demand for a lot of technical manpower. All right, and computing power and speed. The computing power and speed of companies is something that is making people to understand that there can be different types of softwares that are available and analytical tools, which will make sure that you can churn the data and analyze and find out whatever it is that you need, among many other things. And of course, the new research perspectives. That is why dissemination of research is very important. So new ways of looking at things, new ways of collecting data, new ways of analyzing, new ways of even thinking about how you really need to go about finding the information that is required. So new age thoughts, all these are factors which are important for the rise of research in business scenarios. Yes. So Raksha M says releasing pollutants into river by chemical plants. Yes. So these are some of the issues pertaining to the lobbies that are there, environmental concerns, business performance, all of these things. So lastly, today, before we close, we'll look at the research process. So this briefly is the research process. We will look into this at depth much more in the coming classes. So what is the research process? It basically starts with understanding research problem. So what is the research problem? The research problem is the first thing, which is the research question that begins the research journey. So there is a management dilemma. In the next classes, set of classes, I'll be discussing at length what this is all about. So the first step is what you see in the top, the triangle, which it leads like a funnel, right, into the subsequent processes. So what did we say? Research is a process. And what I was emphasizing in earlier classes also is that research is something which is very, very systematic in nature. What is systematic in nature? That a set of process will start with a sequence of steps. Each step shall lead to a subsequent step and 2 steps thereafter. Each preceding step will have its own importance, and therefore that becomes a preceding step to a subsequent one. Now, not necessarily that you cannot jump certain steps, but it is better to understand whether you have all the information requirements from a prior step to proceed to the next. So research process, as you see on the screen, is a systematic set of sequential steps, beginning with clarifying the research questions, which happens to deal with so many things. Next, proceeding to the research proposal, which talks about the research design, okay, which talks about data collection, sampling design, how you're going to collect the data, the instruments, pilot testing, and then proceeding to the next one step, which is the data collection and preparation, which is a very important step of the research process. So what is the prior step of data collection and preparation? For example, if you see on the screen, prior to data collection, the research design strategy should be clear. And what is the subsequent step for research design? To go to data collection, right? Hope you've understood that. So data collection and preparation step shall be followed by the data analysis and interpretation. So what are you going to analyze? The data which you have collected. And what is the data analysis and interpretation going to lead to? It is going to lead to research reporting. Reporting means the reports that you create out of your research, either for your company, or maybe you're going to publish your research in the form of a research article, in the form of a research project, right? So this is your dissemination stage. Research reporting will lead to the management decision making. All right. So we will take more of these details later. This is a blow up of the previous slide. So we will look into this in the future classes. That is in the next set of classes, class starting on Saturday. So if there is any question, you can type it in the chat box. In the meantime, I shall put across to you this decision scenarios. Okay, we can take the first decision scenario. I have given the 3 decision scenarios well in advance to all of you. So if you're the manager of a full service restaurant, you've experienced significant turnover in your waitress pool, and some customers have commented that the once friendly atmosphere is changing. Is this a problem for which business research should be used? Where will you begin in trying to solve this problem? So if we take case number 1, caselet number 1, I would like to hear your views here. Chanchal Tiwari, what would you do? Chanchal, caselet decision scenario 1. We will be looking at all of these for the rest of the students, I'm telling you. We will look at all these decision scenarios from this next class onwards when we discuss the first step of research process. All right. So Chanchal, are you there? Okay, so he's not responding. I'm assuming he's there or not there. I don't know. I cannot assume. Satya Dinesh. Shweta.
Hello.
Yeah, who's this?
Satya.
Yeah, Satya. Tell me first scenario. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what would you do? You're the manager of a full service restaurant. At least tell us, where will you begin to try to solve this problem? So you're the manager of a full service restaurant. You've experienced significant turnover in your waiter-waitress pool. And some customers have commented that the once friendly atmosphere is changing. Is this a problem for which business research should be used? First question. Where will you begin in trying to solve this problem? So while Satya is thinking, I will go to Santosh S. Santosh? Vivek? Anirudh? People have proceeded to breakfast, I think so. All right. Anusha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, this can be considered as a social risk.
Yeah.
It is the reputation of the restaurant is going down because of the turnover that has happened.
Yes.
So initially, I would have a meeting and then I would talk about it to the new people and let them know how the initial procedure was regarding the same. But I'm not sure about if business research is actually required for this one.
Okay, you are not sure. Okay. So the fact that you are going to ask people is itself another kind of research, which we call as, kind of in-depth discussions. So yes, it has to be used, but in what way, I think we will see in the next class, right? Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for the attempt. Now, the next thing which I will share with all of you is, we are going to look at, please refer the 3 caselets that have been sent through the LMS for the future class, for the next class. Please read through the business caselet scenario. It will be up for discussion with respect to the fact that how, why, in which way should we conduct business research. All right. Now, to look at the business research assignment for the next class, because the next class I do have with all of you is on Saturday. So what I have kept for you is that for your first research project, please look at some of the journals that have been mentioned in the assignment, which I've also posted on LMS. Please try to access these journals and find out, and you can do this as part of a group work. I do understand you have groups in the class, so you can do this as part of a group assignment. Just pick up any of the articles which you find is relevant for business research. What you have to do is you have to speculate on the writer's conclusions on the research that has been done. So you can access Academy of Management Review, Decision Sciences, Harvard Business Review, Journal of Accountancy, anything that you're interested in. HR, people can be interested in HR aspects, finance in finance aspect, marketing in marketing aspect. So I am not restricting you to only marketing related. You can just go into any of these resources and pick up some article which you think is talking about some aspect of research study done. And what do you have to do? It should not be more than 2 years old so that it is more relevant. Choose one that has sufficient content from which you can write a report. So the group can make a report that they can upload on LMS. I will create a portion for that. See, the object would be to describe what is the study that was done, what it could do, what it could not do, and the criteria for good research as mentioned in chapter 1 of your textbook. So I urge you to read chapter 1 of your textbook. That is Hooper and Schindler. Go back to that, see the criteria of good research, which we will also see in the next class, and try to find out the articles published, disseminated in these journals, how do they meet up to what is being discussed. So due date, 9 o'clock of Saturday, 8th May 2021. All right. The assignment has been put up on the LMS and you may access that for reference. Should you require any kind of clarification, any assistance, please do get back to me. Any doubts? So we do have 2 minutes left for the class to end. If there's anything that you would like to ask, you are free to ask that on the chat box. LMS is of course there. Thank you so much for coming to the class on time. Today I saw many people have joined, and kindly be ready with your assignments for the next class. Thank you so much. Have a good day.